Whether it's calorie counting, tracking your water intake, or simply crossing off every day of your workout program perfectly, you may have fallen into the trap of believing that you have to keep track of what you're doing to lose weight. Now, there's usually two camps when it comes to tracking: leaning into tracking things hardcore or having major resistance to tracking anything at all. Now, good news, there's a middle ground for all of you. And by the end of this episode, you'll know how to lose weight without obsessively tracking everything. Hey friend, welcome to the Tough Love Mom podcast. You are here because deep down, you know that you were made to do hard things. Whether hard for you is getting motivated, losing weight, testing your mental and physical limits, simply taking control of your health, or all of the above. You want to learn the right way to approach all of this while also getting encouraged along the way. My name is Liz, and I've been where you are. I gained a lot of weight in my pregnancies, but with consistency in the right habits and a realistic mindset, I lost the weight sustainably and became the healthiest I'd ever been. We are capable of so much more than we think. You are not a hot mess mom that rides the struggle bus. You're here because you're different. And my mission is to help you realize just how capable you are. If you're ready to take control of your health, challenge your mindset, and be inspired by moms who have done hard things, you are in the right place. You're about to transform your life, my friend. Get pumped up. It's tough love time. Are you overwhelmed by all the things you know you should be doing to take control of your health? Well, say goodbye to that overwhelm because Starting Point School is open. Now, what is Starting Point School? It is a simple, short, self-paced program that you're going to walk through to learn which one habit you specifically should start with based on your goals, your schedule, how many kids you have, what your day-to-day life looks like, what's hard for you, what's been easy for you in your journey. All those things get taken into consideration to give you a simple step-by-step, literally, because we're doing one habit at a time path to get consistent, get disciplined in your journey, and over time, lose weight the right way, making sure these habits stick, getting you off that roller coaster and just taking you on this smooth, well, sometimes smooth because we're moms, right? Coasting, straight path journey of one habit change at a time. That's what Starting Point School teaches you. You're going to get honest with yourself. You're going to figure out what your specific starting point should be and then learn how to stay consistent with it. You're going to get equipped and encouraged in that step 3 to make sure that you can stay the course long term. So head to startingpointschool.co. You can literally start today. It will take you no more than 3 weeks to learn the process and get to going on your journey the right way. No more roller coaster, no more all or nothing mindset, no more frustration. This can be simple, okay? And you're going to learn how to do that in Starting Point School. So I'll see you in there. Now, I talked about the all or nothing mindset in relation to Starting Point School, and it's dangerous. If you've ever thought that way, I'm speaking from experience, unfortunately. But what it does is it leads us to believe that the only way to get where we want to go in our journey is to do it all. And how do you go from 0 to 100 and make sure it sticks? Well, tracking everything, obviously, right? And that, I will preface this whole episode with saying that does work for a select handful of people, but not many. And I know this mindset and this approach because I did it for years. After we moved, I was going through some boxes and I found my triathlon training journals, and I was tracking times of my workouts and paces and splits and what I ate, which was all for a purpose. But was it really necessary to do that to a T every single day of the week? No. And the same goes for you. So before we get into this, I also need to say that tracking is not bad. I actually believe, I come from a place of believing there's a lot of benefit to doing it. but doing it the right way. A good question to ask yourself when it comes to tracking is, what is this for? Why am I doing this? So some reasons that you might be tracking things like calories, macros, workouts, water, whatever it is, here's some reasons you might be doing it. And it usually falls into one of these three camps. First is self-accountability. To make sure that you're keeping yourself in check, you're staying accountable to yourself with what you actually are doing. The second is to improve. There's a saying out there that says you can't improve what you don't measure, or you can't improve what you don't track. And that's true. If you don't know how much weight you used on bicep curls 2 weeks ago, you're not going to know if you're getting better or not, right? You genuinely don't know. Again, if you are trying to increase your water intake, but you're not ever knowing how much you're taking in, you can't actually improve that because you don't know what you're working from. So you might be tracking to improve on what you're doing. And the third reason that's most common is to get honest with yourself. Unfortunately, the way our brains work is we often think we're eating less than we actually are, or drinking more water than we really are, or more active than we truly are. So tracking is a great way to actually be honest with yourself about what you are or aren't doing in your journey. So as you can see, these are all good things. But back to that foundational question, what is it for? What are you doing this for? So to answer that, you first have to look at what you are or think you have to track. So what you are tracking or think that you have to track. Some examples of things that can fall into this I'll be tracking it category. Food intake, like calories, macros, or a food journal. You might be tracking steps, your workouts, weights used during your workouts, your body measurements, your weight on the scale, your water intake. You might even be trying to meticulously track and follow a certain schedule. The all or nothing mama is going to track multiple of these things. From food intake to water to workouts to your schedule, you're going to try to track a lot of those. If you're resistant to tracking, I bet you're resistant to it because you think you have to track many of these. So what is the middle ground? You're going to figure out what's most difficult or the easiest shoe-in for you right now, aka your starting point, which again, you identify in starting point school, and you track just that one thing. Guess how simple this is? It likely is going to fall into what you eat, so your food intake, or your movement, or your sleep. These three things are the pillars of weight loss that you do learn about in starting point school, and you do not have to, and honestly should not focus on all three at once. No one should. You can and should be tracking something, but again, just something, one thing. So whether it's food or the way you're moving your body or how you're sleeping, you're going to pick one. That's what that middle ground is. Instead of taking the all or nothing approach or thinking that you have to and doing all of those things, tracking all of those, and then white knuckling it and getting exhausted after a few weeks and throwing it all in the trash. If you just do one tracking habit at a time, it's going to help you actually make change. And it's not going to feel overwhelming. And guess what? When you can make sustainable change, you can actually lose weight over time. Will it be as fast? No. But hopefully that's not what you're here for. Hopefully you're more realistic and know that you cannot do it overnight. So again, starting point school can help you figure out what's that one habit you need to start with. Which pillar is it going to fall under? Is it going to be fitness, nutrition, or your sleep and your routine? But honestly, you can identify that today. Ask yourself, what's the hardest in your journey? Which piece of those is the hardest for you to take on? Or what's the easiest for you to start with? That's up to you based on how your journey's gone or the season of life you're in. Are you going to take the biggest hurdle first or ease yourself in? Either way, it works. That's up to you. All you have to do is pick one habit. It's one. Let me emphasize that again. Pick one. The middle ground is by tracking one thing, not all of them. Choose it and just get after it. Before you go, thank you for spending this time with me on the Tough Love Mom podcast. If this episode encouraged you in any way, the number one way you can thank me is to leave a review letting me know how the show has impacted you. Then send this episode to another mom friend or take a screenshot, post it on social media, and tag me so I can personally thank you for helping me on this journey to impact thousands of moms. I'm so grateful to be on this journey with you, sister. Until next time, get after it.